So it's a new year of new opportunities and new challenges. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down the 7 big YouTube trends you need to know for 2024. This information is going to give you an unfair advantage this year and help you protect yourself from some of the unique dangers that we're facing in 2024. So ultimately, you can get more views, grow your following, and earn more money as a content creator or business owner leveraging YouTube this year. Number 1, high quality, high effort, long form YouTube videos will continue to dominate. We've all seen it. Videos continue to get longer on YouTube, and we're seeing the rise of connected TVs. People are watching in the US more YouTube than any of the other Netflix or platforms on their smart TVs. We're seeing 1 to 2 hour to 3 hour video podcasts. And some of the top creators are creating videos that are upwards of 25 to 30 minutes plus in their average videos. And this makes sense because YouTube's main desire is time on platform. We always say minutes matter most. And so longer videos, if they're good and they keep people's attention, are something that YouTube loves, and they reward you as a creator with more reach, with more suggestions in the algorithm, and with more money. Number 2, short form video will continue to grow in popularity across platforms. The most recent stats reveal that YouTube Shorts currently get 70 billion views every single day. TikTok is still a major power player, and the best performing content on Meta, Instagram, and Facebook is Reels and is vertical video. And so short form vertical video across platforms continues to grow in popularity. And I think some of the predictions and trends that we're going to see is we're going to see cameras and video editing software and AI that starts helping content creators create more multi-format content. Because I don't know about you, but in today's world, I'm sometimes a little bit frustrated trying to think, okay, am I going to shoot this vertical? Do I shoot this horizontal? Should I actually shoot this wider so we can crop in and do both? I think we're going to see tools supporting content creators, making it easier to create content that can end up being multi-format. And to put it bluntly, I think that content creators that are ignoring YouTube Shorts are making a big mistake. But that's just my opinion. Number 3, pro creators will embrace 4+ content formats on YouTube. Here's the data. 87% of adults are watching at least 4 content formats on YouTube: shorts, long form video, podcasts, and live streams. And 18 to 24-year-olds have come to expect multi-format, with 67% of Gen Zers saying they like when their favorite creators create content in multiple formats. So I don't blame you if you're thinking, Sean, should I create long-form videos or YouTube Shorts? Should I create a video podcast or should I start going live on YouTube? Well, my answer would be yes. You should do all of the above. Now, one of the things to clarify here is I said pro creators will embrace 4+ content formats. I think if you're just getting started, it's not necessarily even practical to try to do it all. But I think that as you advance and maybe systematize things, learn better tools, maybe even start to build a team, that's when it starts to make sense to embrace all these different content formats. But the practical point here is that different audiences like to consume content in different ways. So if you're not showing up in YouTube Shorts, you're missing out on reaching people who love YouTube Shorts. If you're not showing up in longer form live streams or podcasts where you can expound on your ideas or create a deeper connection, you're potentially missing out on people who prefer that content format. And my prediction is that YouTube is going to continue to dominate multi-format, really dominating the podcast space, dominating the vertical video space, and then, of course, the foundation being high quality, high value, high effort, long form content. Now, today's episode is brought to you by Tube1kchallenge.com. Our next free YouTube challenge for starting and growing a channel this year is starting soon, but more on that later. And you can always check out the link in all the show notes below. Let's dive into the trends. Trend number 4. AI will continue to disrupt the creator economy. Now, when it comes to AI, we need to talk about the good and the bad that is on the horizon in 2024. So let's first start with the good. If you're not using AI as a content creator, you're making a big mistake because there's so many practical ways that AI can help you with content creation. I wrote down a list. Script writing and brainstorming, automatic captions and transcripts, video editing, quickly creating clips and short form videos, title generation, thumbnail generation and graphic design, SEO optimization, social media management, content moderation, and engaging with your community. There is no doubt that AI can save you time, help you make better content, and ultimately help you reach your creator business goals faster. And another positive AI trend is hyper personalization. You know, today's viewers, today's consumers, they expect tailor-made experiences because there's all these data points. For example, on YouTube, YouTube is looking at your watch history, which creators you subscribe to, what videos you like, what videos you dislike, how you respond to different surveys about content, and what is your viewer satisfaction. And YouTube themselves have incorporated hyper-personalization into a new feature that's showing up on most, if not all, channel pages. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but there's a For You section at the top of our YouTube channel homepages. Now, this For You section is selecting videos out of your video library that whatever viewer is landing on the page would be best for them based on whatever metrics YouTube is using. So you don't have to do anything to control this except for make great content and build up a portfolio and a body of work so that YouTube has more quality content to recommend to the unique preferences of viewers landing on your page. But again, what we're seeing is YouTube is already using AI to incorporate hyper personalization into the platform. But there's also some bad that comes along with AI that we need to talk about. So let's hit that right now. So by now, it's no surprise that there are many safety concerns when it comes to AI. Deep fakes, people's voices sounding like them, but saying things they never said. And YouTube has a lot to say about this. And I quote, "Generative AI has the potential to unlock creativity on YouTube and transform the experience for viewers and creators on our platform. But just as important, these opportunities must be balanced with our responsibility to protect the YouTube community." So what they've added, and this will be rolling out, is disclosure requirements and new content labels. What's a content label? Well, we've all seen now creators that have a paid sponsorship in their video, the little pop out that says includes paid sponsorship. And so the YouTube's goal is to avoid misleading viewers with a new disclosure that says altered or synthetic content, sound or visuals were altered or generated digitally. And so the idea is that people will need to check a box if they've used deep fakes or they've used some kind of a voice tool to create generative AI of something that really didn't happen. YouTube goes on saying, "We'll require creators to disclose when they've created or altered synthetic content that is realistic, including using AI tools. When creators upload content, we will have new options for them to select to indicate that it contains realistic, altered, or synthetic material." My prediction is that AI will be more disruptive in 2024 than it was in 2023, and that year was insane. So we have a lot to look forward to, and it's going to get interesting. Trend number 5, raw and authentic content creators will rise to the top. So one of the things we've been seeing is a shift away from highly produced forced content. This is kind of a reaction to the Mr. Beastification trend of YouTube, which simply means always trying to outdo your last video, more spectacle, more energy, more noise, more fast paced, more trying to hack the viewer's brain to keep audience retention as high as possible. And what we're seeing is creators having massive success with really the opposite approach to that Mr. Beast style. For example, if you haven't seen Sam Sulek yet, he's been one of the fastest growing creators with an ultra stripped down, minimal editing, basic thumbnails with no shine to them. They're even a little bit dingy, like a screen grab from the video editing timeline. And he's a 21-year-old bodybuilder who, as of March 2023, only had 8,000 subscribers. Fast forward to today, and he's over 2.7 million subscribers. He basically has a vlog where he uploads every day. And again, I think he is a refreshing personality because he's real, he's down to earth, kind of drives a normal car. He's tapping into the unbreakable cheat code required to win on YouTube, which is consistency because he uploads every day. But he's paired that with authenticity. He's just real. He's just raw. And it just feels different, but his results have been insane. And one of the things that's pretty surprising is that in 2023, the most looked up word on Merriam-Webster was the word authentic. And so people are craving real. And I think since the pandemic that we saw a lot of lies told, a lot of fake news, a lot of misinformation, that there's a higher level of skepticism than ever before. And so when things are overly polished and they're overly flashy, I think it can sometimes raise up some red flags. And so there's a big opportunity for, again, this kind of a different style of stripped down, raw and authentic content creators. Now, I'm not saying that Mr. Beast's results are going to suffer or that that style of content is actually going to lose its influence. But what I am saying is there's a big opportunity for you when it comes to tapping into maybe a different approach to YouTube than what seems like the only kind of content that is working. It's kind of anti-YouTube best practices, not having all the flash, not needing the perfect intro or thumbnail, not needing to outdo your last insane video. Another example of this is Dry Creek Wrangler School. And so in these videos, Dwayne is like on a farm. He's on his property. He's sitting in front of his barn. He like lights up a cigar, no cuts. And he just shares wisdom from his rich life experience. The videos have kind of a solitude to them, a tranquility to them. And there's really a genuine connection happening there. And so we're seeing short form videos that are fast paced, kind of hacking dopamine, trying to just keep that energy going in the YouTube Shorts feed. But we're also seeing this anti-trend that I think is something to pay attention to, of sort of a stripped down opposite to that. And I think that for some creators, they maybe will embrace both. What if you uploaded an anti-thumbnail? Like your thumbnails look overly polished, but you uploaded one that's just a little bit more raw. Like maybe the title's lowercase, right? We've seen that. And this isn't, I don't mean make this a tactic. I just mean you just kind of like, let me get real with you. Let me get raw with you. Let me just talk to you and see how it goes. Because trend number 5, raw and authentic creators will rise to the top. Number 6, creators that last will focus on brand building. One of the mistakes a lot of people make on YouTube is they chase views and virality, but they never build an actual brand or connection with a loyal audience. I want to encourage you, don't just create content, build a brand. Don't just get views, build your personal brand. And here's kind of what I mean. If you've ever consumed YouTube Shorts, maybe whoever you love to follow, and let me know. I'll probably trigger some people here, but maybe you'll see clips of Jordan Peterson, or you see clips of Andrew Tate, or you'll see clips of this president or that president, or someone reacting to them, right? All these different people that are building their influence, Elon Musk clips. Well, when you see these clips, whose brand is being built? Elon Musk's brand is being built. And what account are those clips on? You have no brand affinity. You don't know. And even if you see long form videos that are compilations of OPC, other people's content, probably being used by fair use, but maybe not. And who knows what future crackdown could come. Here's the point. Whose brand is being built in the process? Some of these accounts that are getting views, I don't believe will be around in a couple of years because they never actually built a loyal following with any kind of affinity or connection to them. It makes me think about a vertical video that we posted that just got 1 million views. And I've got a video podcast called the Think Media Podcast. I'm interviewing another guest and he tells a story about another person named Rob Dyrdek. Now, if you love Rob, he's a legend. He's got a lot of cool stuff that's happened. And this video pops off with him telling a story about Rob Dyrdek. Whose brand in that situation was built? I don't think my guest was. I wasn't even in the video really at all, and I'm the interviewer. Maybe the Think Media Podcast, because its reputation of bringing good information, but really, in one sense, it was a perpetuation of Rob Dyrdek's brand. Now, I'm not saying that newsjacking or trend surfing or influence surfing doesn't have its place. I'm just encouraging you to be intentional about what brand are you building, which brings us to trend number 7. But before we get there, I have 4 additional trends that didn't make my top 7 list, but they're still very important. So stick around for those, as well as the biggest obstacles and dangers that we're facing as content creators. So I'll be hitting those towards the end of the video. And as a reminder, today's episode is brought to you by tube1kchallenge.com. If you are thinking about starting or wanting to grow your YouTube channel this year and get your first or next 1,000 subscribers, then definitely check out tube1kchallenge.com. 5 days, deep dive trainings happening every single day. We're giving away cameras. We're giving away a YouTube studio, and it's entirely free. You can hit the link in the YouTube description to register, but let's dive into the next trend. Number 7, more creators will go full-time this year than ever before. A recent article from Goldman Sachs Research revealed that the creator economy could approach $500 billion by 2027. It means it's going to double in the next 3 years. So in other words, the next 3 years are going to be the best 3 years on YouTube. What that means is that a lot of money is flowing into the system, and you need money for your mission. You need money to do this full time. And a lot of that money is flowing to what's called micro influencers and nano influencers. Now, a micro influencer is someone with 10,000 subscribers up to 100,000 subscribers. But a nano influencer is someone with 1,000 to 10,000 subscribers. And the trend we're seeing is that brands that are doing paid sponsorships are finding better results and finding that they prefer to work with micro and nano influencers. Now, that doesn't mean that A-list celebrities are going to stop getting brand deals, but basically the idea is this. Instead of paying one superstar influencer $100,000 for a sponsored video, they can pay 100 nano influencers $1,000 for 100 sponsored videos. And what they've discovered is that these micro influencers have authentic relationships with their community. There's more engagement. There's more connection there, and that it's more work because you're working with more people, but that the brands are getting better results in terms of whatever their campaign objectives is when it comes to influencer marketing. This means that if you learn the right skills and you position yourself right, you learn how to pitch, you learn how to connect with brands, there is a lot of opportunity to go full time, even if you have a small audience. However, there's a huge opportunity here that almost nobody is talking about, and that is the rise of UGC creators. Let's talk about it. So the term UGC has been around for a while, and it stands for user-generated content. This is when you have a picture of you in your Stanley mug and you tag the brand and they share it, or they DM you and ask, can we post that on our profile? Maybe you create a video and they ask, can we use this video on our website? And so that's what user-generated organic content is. Well, there's this new kind of content creator called a UGC content creator. And essentially what they're doing is they create content for brands that looks real. I mean, it is real, but it looks more raw. It looks like a raw customer testimonial. But the difference is they were actually paid by the brand to create it. The opportunity here is that your YouTube channel is not being judged by the amount of subscribers or the amount of influence you have. It's being judged by your ability to create content for the brand that they like. Maybe your charisma, the way you look, your style, your humor, and also your video editing and storytelling and understanding maybe of how to actually create content. Now, this might bring up this idea of, well, are you being fake or just being paid to lie? And I think to do this with integrity is just the opportunity that if there is a brand you love, if there is a particular product you love, you could pitch and reach out. And again, your pitch will be different. You're going to position yourself of, hey, would you like me to create content for your brand? You could use it in paid media. You could use it on your website. You could use it in these different places. You getting educated in this reveals that, again, full time might be a lot closer than you imagined, but it might look different than you thought it was going to look. And that could be tapping into this idea of UGC content creators. Let me know in the comments if you'd like me to teach deeper on this in the future and even bring on some special guests to our podcast, because this is going to be a major trend and it's a huge opportunity to generate money even if you are a smaller creator. But let's hit these 4 notable trends that didn't make my top 7 list, but are still very important. Number 8, creators as consultants. So brands are increasingly hiring creators for input into product development, into the creation of content for the brand on their own channels and paid advertising, for speaking into their community and speaking into their strategy. What you got to understand is that if you're deep in this world, you have a particular set of knowledge and a particular set of skills that brands just don't have. And while maybe new creators, this isn't a big opportunity, it's happening for mid and larger creators at a crazy scale. The question for you is, how could you position yourself to be paid, not for the videos you create for a brand, but for your consulting, for your knowledge, for your skill set, for your point of view, and for your experience? Creators as consultants is a big trend, and it's going to only continue to rise. Trend number 9 is creator packaged goods, CPG. So you've probably seen Mr. Beast's chocolate bar, his burger place, maybe Emmett Chamberlain's coffee, of course, Logan Paul and KSI's Prime. Well, these are creator packaged goods. And a trend we've been seeing happen over the years is creators launching new businesses. The new creator might not be able to tap into this, but if you've created any momentum, you have a little bit of money, creators are funding startups. There's funding additional businesses outside of the main thing that they're doing. And this is only going to continue to rise in the coming years. Number 10, creator and audience values alignment. Here's the stat. 82% of shoppers now demand that a brand's values align with their own. You know, I'm recording this podcast in the Pacific Northwest. And if I go outside, there's a high likelihood that I will see somebody driving a Subaru Outback with a North Face jacket on, sipping a coffee out of their tumbler, little beanie hat, on their way to hug a tree. That's a little bit of a stereotype, but it's pretty accurate. And people in this region love brands like Patagonia. Why? Because of the ethics of the brand, the values of their brand, the impact that they're committed to reduce their carbon imprint, to recycle materials. And so people will even pay a premium price for products that aren't just good products, but also align with the values that they have. This applies to creators as well. And this was on my trends list for last year, and I think it will continue. How can you weave in your values and your beliefs and the things you stand for in your content? People don't just follow people for the how-to information or the entertainment they offer. They really connect with people with shared beliefs and shared values. And your mom may have told you, don't talk about religion or politics at the dinner table. And I'm not saying those are the things that you have to include in your content, but the data is in. And especially with younger generations, they are looking for values alignment. And I believe that the creators who build stronger brands and don't just create content are going to tap into the understanding of creator, audience, values alignment. Which brings us to trend number 11, which is SEO and search will enter a new frontier. So we need to start thinking outside of the search box. People are searching with their voice. People are searching with text and images combined. It's called MultiSearch. And so practically, you could consider using more conversational, long-form questions when thinking about search queries and keywords. Now, this is a macro trend that's going to be across platforms on search engines, on things like Google Bard, which is being used for search combined with the information they're giving you. But on YouTube, I think about my habits after I get done working most days. A lot of times I'll grab my Apple remote and I'll start talking to it. I'll say, hey, Siri, open up YouTube. And recently we bought a Toyota Sequoia and we're about to go on a trip over the mountains. So we're now looking for the Thule roof racks that can have some extra stuff because we got kids in the car and we need extra space for the journey. Well, as I started to go down that path, of course, I had to do some research and now I'm overwhelmed. I'm like, there's all kinds of different sizes and what will fit and which one do I want? And YouTube was my go-to source for that information. But mostly when searching, I was actually talking to my phone or talking to my Apple remote and my TV. I was doing voice search. And so this is something to look into, that search is evolving and that this is going to apply not just to YouTube, but across platform. AI is going to influence this. And so it's something we want to keep close eyes on for how we can benefit so we can rank position and get our content discovered with some of these new changes to search. But when it comes to trends, I think it's important that we don't just look at some of the opportunities, but we also look at some of the uncertainties and even dangers that are just on the horizon for 2024. One is global events. Right now, we're living in geopolitical conflict. Wars are happening. Supply chain distributions are happening. And so there's going to be a lot of volatility this year. And I think that's something to be aware of. Number two is the possibility of economic recession. This affects consumers' behavior, their spending habits. Most of these things for content creators become an opportunity because people like watching free content. They like updated news about global events, but we need to be aware that there could be certain things that could affect our creator businesses moving forward. For example, over the last 12 months, brand deals have dried up for some creators. Budgets have gone down in ad spend because it's not just how these things affect you, it's how they affect brands and businesses and people around you. So we need to be aware for that. The third big thing we need to be prepared for is it's going to be an election year here in the US. So you better believe YouTube is going to be packed full of all kinds of content related to this. What does this mean? It means there's going to be a heightened interest in news and politics. It means that if you're in anything related to that, or you even tie your content into the election, there's new audiences to reach. It means there's going to be lively conversations and debates, and maybe you can expect people being on edge in your comments or being mad. Maybe not at you. They're just mad at the world. They're mad at whoever's candidate is winning. They're mad in general. Things will get interesting. They might get a little edgy. It means that there's going to be combating of misinformation. We already talked about AI, but there's going to be probably a ton of misinformation. There's going to be a ton of drama because of AI, because of what we've already seen in previous election years. There's going to be a lot of campaign advertising, YouTube ads across platforms. You'll probably see a lot of campaign ads in front of videos that might raise your revenue. And there's something about positioning yourself because tons of money, billions of dollars will be spent on advertising this year. There's going to be demonetization risks. One expert said platforms may be more cautious about content deemed politically controversial, potentially leading to demonetization or shadow banning of some creators. There could be shifting brand partnerships. Brands might be hesitant to associate with creators perceived as taking strong political stances, affecting existing partnerships or influencing future collaborations, and you might feel pressure to remain neutral. Some creators may face pressure to stay neutral to avoid alienating potential viewers, while others may choose to embrace their political views and cater to a niche audience. And so back to values alignment, I think you could go political, or you could not go that direction. And it actually might give you an advantage, or it may cause you to have some loss that could lead to other gain. But no doubt about it, the election year is going to be very interesting as it pertains to something to prepare for. And I think number 4 really sums up these uncertainties. And here's the trend. The never normal. You know, a while back, we heard the new normal during the pandemic. We're getting back to the new normal. Well, here's what experts are predicting. The continuous now, evolution, turbulence, instability, one crisis after another. And I think just the connectedness of the world. We just are aware of everything that's happening, that the new state of being is this idea of the never normal. And so what does this mean for you, and how can you best prepare to win and succeed on YouTube and beyond in 2024? I've got one big idea to go a little bit deeper on, but I do want to pass the question off to you, especially if you watch the podcast on YouTube. What are your predictions for 2024? Which trends do you want to tap into that I mentioned? What are some other trends you're noticing? And also, what is your biggest challenge when it comes to YouTube and your creator economy business? I'm committed to helping you win on YouTube all year long and creating the best content possible for you. So I'd love to know some of your questions or your challenges. If you listen on audio, maybe head over to the video version, because I'm going to be spending a lot of time in the comments connecting and listening to your point of view and some of the things that you need. But here is the big prescription and the secret to success in 2024 that I believe, and I already mentioned it. Here's the word: agility. Agility means responding faster to any situation. And as you listen to this podcast, you might be thinking, I'm kind of stressed. I'm kind of anxious. Like, it feels like the target's always moving, like YouTube's always changing, like the world is always changing, almost like things are never normal. Welcome to 2024. We need agility. This might mean replacing your 5-year plan with a fluid approach and the willingness to do micro pivots. It's always good to have a long-term vision in mind, but understanding that the path to get there will not be a straight line. And so sometimes when short form content is growing, or maybe you are romantic, you love the length of videos you make or the style of videos you make, but as things change, they are inviting you to adapt and pivot quickly. And I really believe that in 2024, the content creators that are going to not just survive, but also thrive, they're really going to embrace adaptability. They're going to skill up faster. They're going to outwork, outlearn, out-strategize, and outlast other creators because they adapt quicker. They reinvent themselves quicker. They think about their brand and they pivot to changes in the market faster. Adapting to the never normal with agility and micro pivots will ensure that you are a part of the real-time conversations that are happening and that you're not chasing after them and getting left behind. If you enjoyed this content and want to take your YouTube channel to the next level, just click or tap the link on the screen or go to tube1kchallenge.com to join our next live YouTube challenge. You'll learn our best tips and strategies that are working here at Think Media, and I think you'll love it.